Welcome back to the tool crib. Well, I'm working in the shop today trying to get my shop organized, and UPS came, so I decided to take a break from that and show you what we got here. So this is the all-new Leatherman Curl, and I actually dropped the box, so I scuffed the box myself. That didn't come in shipping. So we're going to do a first look at this thing, kind of reserve judgment until we get a chance to use it. So we'll get it up out of the box, take a look at what we got. So this should be the instructions on the back, and you get the case with the all-new Leatherman Curl. Nice to see that it includes a pocket clip. This is something that they, in the free series when they first came out, that they didn't do, and a lot of people were pretty unhappy about that. Okay, so this is basically a smaller version or a lighter version of a Wave, but unlike the Wave, it does not have locking interior tools. It'll be interesting to see on the outside blades. These are still locking. So my thought was that the whole premise behind the Bond and the Curl was to have implements, or especially a knife blade, that didn't lock out. The price on this one is $80 is what I paid for it, which I don't know. It seems a little high to me, but nonetheless. So first you have the blade, which is going to be their 428C blade, which is liner locked. Then on the other side, we have the diamond file, which in my case, I kind of prefer. I know some people are going to prefer to have the saw blade. So unlike the Wave series of tools, this is going to eliminate two of the tools. In this case, it's going to be the serrated blade and the saw blade. Now, one thing I am satisfied with personally is the fact that they decided to use a regular blade instead of a half serrated. Then it uses or utilizes the same pocket clip that you find in the Leatherman Free series, which it's nice of them to go ahead and include that on. For those that don't want to use it in the sheath, you can always take that off. So let's get her opened up. Now the pliers on here are going to be what they used in Gen 2, which I really don't have a complaint with, other than the fact that I used to like how they used to do the really fine teeth on the needle nose portion of this. They've stopped doing that as of Gen 2. There may have been some early Gen 2s that came out with a more finer tooth pattern, but all in all, they're pretty decent pliers. I really don't have an issue with them. Going to come with your needle nose, regular pliers, wire cutters, and hard wire cutters that are not replaceable. But unlike Gen 3, they're not going to have the wire crimper on the back. So then if we get them opened up, we'll see what the tooling selection is. So the first thing is the Wave scissors. They're not bad scissors. They could stand to be better. Now all these tools here are going to be slip jointed, so they have a pretty decent retention on the back of them also. That's very nice. So there's a lot of people that are going to be super happy about this one. But first, the 1/4-inch driver, which also doubles as your pry tool. Very nice that they kept that in there. Unlike the Leatherman Wave, though, this one includes the awl. So if nothing else, if you're more of a Wave user and you do want this awl, this is obviously a direct drop in as far as the lock back geometry goes, so that you could, in theory, take this out, put it into a Wave, and then remove whichever tool that you don't want in the Wave over to here, providing they are basically the same thickness of tool. And then on the other side is going to be our driver and our combination tool, which this is a pretty decent tool selection. Now, what's fallen off? You lose the eyeglass driver in favor of that, in favor of the awl, which I'm completely fine with. And you also lose one of the smaller screwdrivers as well, one of the smaller flat drivers. But a lot of times that can be redundant because you do have the ability to add a bit kit to this, wherein you could get that functionality back. Now, granted, the bits that are in Leatherman's the bit exchanger are a little softer grade than what you're going to find with the permanent drivers, which I should say like that. And then the last tool, which I don't see them getting rid of this anytime soon. I know a lot of people complain that there's bottle openers on everything. I happen to like this tool because it's not really the great bottle opener. I mean, it'll work as a bottle opener. It's an excellent can opener, an excellent wire stripper, and I really like the curved front end of this because it's coming useful for a number of different oddball tasks. So I'm really happy with that. Now, unlike the Bond, which had the issue with the knife blade that would stick on us, it would pop out because there wasn't enough tension on it. This one seems to be pretty decent. Now, again, we're going to reserve judgment until I have a chance to use this a little bit more. This is just more of a first look, but all in all, it's not too bad. But this begs the question: why, instead of coming out with this all-new curl, why wouldn't they just reintroduce the Gen 2 Wave, switch out the eyeglass screwdriver for an all? I think a lot of people might gravitate a little bit more towards that. Now, granted, this is a lot lighter. I don't know what the weight is on it. In fact, let me see. Well, I guess somebody has moved my scale. No, I guess I set I set the stuff on top of it. So let me weigh it in real quick. And on the mat, it might not give us, well, I think my batteries might be dead. So I'm going to have to, no, there it goes. Okay, grams, 199. And ounces, 6.98 ounces. So it's fairly lightweight. That's an ounce and a half less than a Wave, more or less. Personally, though, I would have preferred just a re-release of the Gen 2 Wave, add in the all, which they've needed to do since forever, and I would have been fine with it. I like this in favor of that. You know, I keep going back to this. I think I had to look. I honestly haven't used the Wave in a little while because Surge is my daily driver. I think all the tooling is the same with the exception of micro driver for the all. The Wave doesn't have that other screwdriver, I don't believe. I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to bring the Wave in and check it and make sure. Now, you would think that as much as I use Leatherman tools that this would be second nature to me, but then again, I use the Surge mostly. So the tooling is the same with the exception of this micro driver in favor of the all. The difference here is, though, let's look at see how these are placed in here. So looks like they've shortened up this driver. Let's make sure of that. I may be wrong here. No, I am actually. Okay, so here's the difference. Because the Wave has that little catch down there at the bottom, and let's just open these up so I can highlight this. So down here at the bottom, the Wave has this little catch. That works in the lock mechanism to lock out the blades as well. So when the tool is open, that the blades can't open, and that's something we're going to check on here. I still think that they have that integrated, and we'll look a little closer at how that's integrated. But because of that, they're able to get this driver in the center here without interference. You can see in the Wave how this driver is actually longer than that catch, and so you can't move that driver to the center without modifying that catch. Where in this curl, the curl doesn't have that, so it allows them to put the longer driver or the same driver. So they're using the identical tool. It's just that there's zero interference down there now. Now, they have still included the little mechanism down here at the bottom, which when the pliers open up, it will engage with them by spreading them out, and then that thereby keeps the blade locked in. You can see that little notch rises up right into that finger grab and keeps the blade from popping out. So this is actually pretty well done. Now, one of the big problems with the Wave is the fact that when in use, and if you are using it and you actually slip off of something, it can actually pinch your fingers. This one helps to eliminate that if you grab it in the right orientation. So if you're grabbing it from this side, on the off pocket clip side, you can still have that happen, because what will happen is the meat of your hand will get pinched down in between the blade and that file, and when it closes, if you slip off something, it can pinch you and grab you. Now, the benefit to the curl is the fact that on this side it doesn't have the two exterior tools, so that no matter how much you get in there, you are not, if you grab it in the right orientation, you are not going to get that infamous Wave pinch. And now people that use Leatherman tools a lot absolutely know that that is a bad thing, and it only takes you one time doing it to know that you don't ever want to do that again. So my apologies again. It's been a little while since I used the Wave or the Charge series, but as much as I pull them out, you would think that I wouldn't have missed that. But it looks like in favor of the All, they put the micro driver. Now, again, the reason that they're able to keep this screwdriver in here is because they don't have that knob that would stick up and prevent this from closing. So they also still include a ruler, but they only did it. Now that's kind of cheesy. So they did half the ruler in metric, and they did half the ruler in SAE, which really limits the length that you can measure anything, but nonetheless. And then the frame is completely different here at the bottom too, because where the Wave, Charge series and Surge series have these little extra notches or extra pieces that actually will come off, they've just integrated the round part here and bent it all as part of the frame. Other than that, I mean, it's still a pretty strong frame. It doesn't have quite the break that you get with the Wave, but you'll see that it has break here, goes down, break. And then on this side, they pretty much did the same thing that they're doing with the Bond, wherein they curled it over to give you a little bit more comfort. It doesn't really have any hot spots that I can tell so far, but I'll have to use it a little bit to give you a better understanding. But so far, this tool, it seems okay. It seems okay. My only problem is with this is my understanding was, again, that the Bond and the Curl were designed to be more so for the European market, wherein they have to contend with knife laws that don't allow for locking blades. This does not help the European market. In fact, this, to me, I don't know why they made it. I don't know why they made it. I would have just come out with a different Wave that would have switched in an All. I mean, I guess I'm not understanding why they made this. Maybe there are people that want to carry a little bit lighter, that don't want the extra utility of the two outer tools that you get on the Wave and the Charge series, which, well, in this case, it's on the opposite side, and it's going to be those two tools. It eludes me why they decided to build this particular tool. It's cheaper made for sure, but at $80, I don't see where it comes anywhere close to a budget tool. Now, had this been priced in at $60, 55, 60, I would say, yeah, this is absolutely a winner. It gets down into that more budget range. Obviously has less capability. Obviously does not have lockout tools on the interior tools. But this at $80 is just, it's really boggling me. Maybe you guys have some thoughts on this new Curl release. At any rate, we'll take a little deeper dive into the Leatherman Curl in days to come. My name is Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.